Thank you for staying with us. Now, you'll recall that we started this conversation last week about intellectual property. We learned a lot from the panel we had last week, but we need to take this a notch higher because there is still so much to learn about this. And it's my pleasure to welcome the Director General of the Nigerian Copyright Commission, Dr. John Asen. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me in the studio.
I'm sure you watched the program last week and listened to what the two young lawyers spoke about. But there is also a commission solely in charge of intellectual property. So we thought we'd like to hear from you as well today. So thank you very much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Now, let me begin from exactly where we started last week.
Okay.
The difference between a patent and a copyright. Because my vicar, who is a regular viewer of this program, accosted me on Sunday that the lawyers did not explain that thing properly. Vicar, here is the authority on copyrights and trademarks.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much. First, let me say my colleagues, I won't say young lawyers, my colleagues who were here last week did a good job. Maybe it didn't come across to the vicar the way I understood it. So, in a nutshell, we have a basket, intellectual property.
Okay.
In that basket, you have four major strands.
Okay.
Then you have three other strands that are new in the basket.
Okay. Let's do the four first.
Good. The four major strands will, again, you can split into two.
Okay.
Copyright and industrial property. Under copyright, you have literary works, musical works, films. These are works that
musical.
Yes, movies or film, broadcast, which is yours, performances. So these are creative or works of the mind in the literary and artistic field.
Okay.
Then you have the other one, which is industrial property.
Okay.
And under industrial property, you have trademarks, you have patents, and you have industrial designs. If I had my phone with me, I would have used that to illustrate, but you can use anything to illustrate.
Okay.
In your phone, you have the patent components, which are the products or the processes. So the phone will contain so many patents. The patents that allow you to do this, the smartphone on the screen without having to use keyboard. The patent covering some aspect of the camera, so that when you block the camera, you notice that very often something will stop working. Maybe the audio will stop because it senses that you want to, or you have the phone close to you. So there are components in that phone that are patented products. Okay, so that's for patent.
Patented to the phone maker?
Well, the phone maker will ordinarily get licenses from the owners
of those properties.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why you find that a lot of the functions in the phone will exist in another phone. So whether it's iPhone or Android, they have some basic components, okay? Just like your car or any other product. So that's patent. It covers products and processes, okay?
Patent?
Yeah, will cover the products.
Products and processes.
Then you have, we've looked at trademarks, which will be the insignia or the mark that a product is packaged in. So when you have a product, you have a mark on it. So it's the mark that identifies that particular product.
So the bitten apple represents...
Good. So if I had my phone with me, the bitten apple will tell you...
It's right here.
That's a trademark. That's a trademark.
This is the trademark
Very
of
good.
Apple.
Could I use it?
Sure.
Very good. So you have here the bitten apple as a trademark. Now, you may also have on the other side the iPhone as a trademark.
Okay.
Okay. Now, In this phone.
That's two trademarks.
Oh, yeah. You can have more than...
Representing the same company.
Yeah. So usually...
Okay. The channel's logo, for instance, which I hear all kinds of things have been done to online, which is the next topic we're going to discuss.
We'll look at that.
So that is our logo.
Yeah.
And our trademark.
Yeah. Your logo could include the image, the name. You know, it could be a composite representation of your insignia.
Okay.
Each of them could also exist independently. So channels is channels. When you hear channels, you know who that is. In some other climes, in fact, the sound that you use for channels could be registered, not in Nigeria, but in some other climes. So you find a product and there's a sign of, very good. Although we'll come to whether or not that should belong to you exclusively, because you should actually be paying if you borrowed that
from
tune
somebody else,
from someone who composed Berger.
That's right.
Very good.
That's right.
So now we're getting
we'll get to that.
Very good. So now you have the look and feel of the product.
Yes.
That could be the industrial design, the look and feel. So you could have like 5, 6 phones, and I choose to make my phone in a particular way. The look and feel will be the industrial design. The components inside the phone will be the products, patents in that phone. Okay? Then, of course, the copyright will be maybe in the package. You have a manual. Okay, that will be the copyright issue. And of course, this phone will carry so many copyright materials from time to time. You download music, you download pictures, you have movies playing. All that is copyright. Books, e-books are everywhere.
Yeah.
So when you hold the phone, in fact, you are holding a whole basket of intellectual property. That's very instructive. So everywhere we are, anywhere we go, we are carrying intellectual property. Apart from the fact that as an adult, as a human being, you are already a fountain of intellectual property, because you've got so much in you. You've got so much copyright works in you. They're just waiting to be birthed. And I do say that it doesn't matter at what age. A child of 1 can begin to create, sing, draw, scribble something. And those drawings will qualify as copyright works. It's amazing, huh?
It is amazing.
Good.
I'm just thinking about a child scribbling something, and should by chance he becomes a great artist in the future, those scribbles will be worth millions.
I advise parents to keep some of those things, because you never know what this child will become in future. You can imagine.
Parents, please listen.
Oh, yeah. If you see them drawing, keep those things. They will even be amazed. They'll be excited seeing how they were at 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep them. Because if they become the star tomorrow, for God's sake, if you are able to find the drawings of Ben Enwonwu at 5, boy, that's good money.
Definitely.
So we need to preserve them. Just to let you know that we had some children that came to a program that the U.S. Embassy organized with us on the 26th in Lagos. And some of the children said they had authored a storybook. 4 of them, they're in primary 6. And I said, wow, that's wonderful. The commission would want to support this and help you to publish it. And yesterday when we appeared at the book fair, they brought the manuscript. It looked small, but for me, that's like an egg. That egg is going to grow to something big. And we've taken it up. I've talked with the publisher. I'm going to start a series now where we'll be publishing stories and the literary works or the musical works of children.
Young writers.
Young writers. It doesn't matter what we think about the quality. And the good thing about copyright is the quality does not matter. And that's why I can say I'm a musician. If I sing, though I don't have a good voice, but it doesn't really matter, you know. Okay.
So these books that you're going to help these children publish, are you going to, well, which of these words do I need? You're going to copyright them so that they belong to those children, right?
Yeah, the beauty of it is they already own copyright.
How so?
The moment, I often say that copyright subsists even before the ink dries on paper. The moment you create an original work, and that work is fixed in a medium, like writing, copyright will immediately come on that work. The breath of the law will come on that work, and that is the copyright in the work. But then, to play safe, you may want to now go online and register the work with the Nigerian Copyright Commission, then you get a certificate. But again, that's like when a child is born. The life comes upon the child. The child is already a human being, but you go to register the birth. As evidence.
Yeah, but Doc, if I have written this thing and I haven't registered it, and somebody else picks it up, reads it, and uses part of it, it's not registered. So is that other person committing some...
Sure.
But it's not registered.
No. The same
so
way...
it's not exclusively mine,
No,
even though it's from my head.
It is. Because the law says the moment you create a work that is original and that work is fixed, you own the copyright. Registration is a second level of protection.
So can I then sue that person?
Certainly you can.
And I will have reason to claim damages?
Yes, you can. Now, let me put it this way.
Then.
Let me put it this way. I like using this illustration because that's the way it is. And you know that everything about literary works in English, for instance, is made up of 26 letters, punctuations, and space. But within the 26 letters, you see a difference between my own work and Wole Soyinka's work. But we're still using the same 26 letters. So you can take from the pool of 26 letters and work it out the way you want. Then you have an original, in this case, literary work. Now you've put in some labor, you've put some intellectual investment, and you've brought out a work. That work is original, and having been fixed, the law will give you the right. But just to be sure, in case there's a dispute, that you have a repository, somewhere you can call up that work. You want to register it. So it makes it easier when you have issues. And I often say that when you go to the beach, for instance, and you find so much sand there, who owns the sand? It belongs to nobody. It belongs to everybody.
That sounds like our president.
We are learning from him. Now, if you go and you pack some sand from there, maybe like 5 wheelbarrows, and you take that to your to the front of your house and you pour it there, who owns the sand now? It's your sand. So it could be stolen. So that is how it is with creativity. The moment you have appropriated with your intellectual exertion, you've brought out a work. That work now resides in front of your house.
It is yours.
It's yours. You don't have to register that sand, that heap of sand, with the police or anyone, but it's your sand. But just to be on the safe side, you may want to tell your neighbors that this is my sand. And you put something in there to say, my sand. Okay, but with or without that,
it is yours.
It's your work. So that's how easy it is to create. And the moment you create, the law protects you. But for you to have something to hold on to as evidence, you may want to go register that work.
Okay. Right. We played a piece of music during the break before we came onto this segment. And you whispered to me that we're supposed to be paying Charlie Boy for that piece of music. Well, with music, it's a bit different, isn't it? Because the musician creates his work, and he wants an avenue to showcase that work. So he speaks to DJs and radio stations, please play my music so that it will be accepted by the audience and all that. Is there anything wrong with that arrangement?
there is nothing wrong with the arrangement, but where you use a work without a license, then there will be an issue with that.
No, but he's asked me to play it.
Well, he's asked you to play it, so he's giving you the license to play.
Yes.
But I kind of feel that Charlie Boy would not need to ask you to play his work forever.
No, I'm not talking about Charlie Boy. I'm just talking about a musician.
Well, some musicians...
No, let's pick a new upcoming musician, unknown.
Okay, let me put it this way. Now, when a musician is coming up, he needs to be known.
Yes.
So he could come to you and say, look, why don't you just promote me?
Yes, that's right.
That's fine. Okay. For as long as you're doing that based on that arrangement, you could get away with it.
Okay.
But a time comes when it's no longer promotion, it's now you exploiting the work. In fact, there was a case like that where someone played music. He was playing music loud through loudspeakers, and he was sued. And he said, no, I'm actually helping the musician. I mean, people come to buy because of this loudspeaker and everything. And the court said, no.
I don't need
this
you.
is public performance. And one of the rights that the copyright owner owns is the public performance of his work. So when you say, oh, I own copyright, again, copyright is, you can look at it as a 3D subject, 3 dimension. And the 3 dimensions of copyright will be the space, the time, and the depth. The depth will be the rights that the copyright owner owns. For instance, the right to reproduce, the right to distribute, the right to public performance, the right to communication. Those are his rights. Now you have the space. I could give you the use of my copyright, maybe in a book. I say, well, exploit this work in Nigeria. I give the other person the right in the rest of Africa. Okay. I give someone else the right in outside Africa. Yeah. So spatially, I've distributed that right. Yeah. So that's the second dimension of it. The third dimension is time. I could give you, yes, first, my copyright itself has a duration.
So I give you 3 months.
I give you 3 months, after which the license is over. I give
if you continue, then I will have reason to sue you.
Yeah, that is it.
Or ask you for...
some money. Some money. So that, because you're also using the work to make some money.
Of course.
So just as you pay for your light bills, you pay for the cameras and everything, you pay for the set you're using. So why won't you pay for the soft component, which is the intellectual property that in fact is the oil that wheels all the creative sector? And the interesting thing is, just as you're using music, someone is also using your broadcast. So you are also a copyright owner. So you want to treat him well so that you'll be treated well also. So that's why we always advocate that people should have the right copyright orientation and have respect for copyright.
Yeah, talking about copyright in music, there is COSON. And I mean, I know that a few years ago they were pretty well organized and they monitored all TV stations and radio stations and collected monies for their members. Some who didn't even know what kind of monies were due to them. What is your relationship with COSON?
Well, what's our relationship with COSON? COSON was set up as a collective management organization, a CMO, which under the law is called a collecting society.
So it's just to collect money for their members?
Well, it's to actually, as a CMO, is to negotiate, collect, and distribute. But then the law says, under the Copyright Act, you cannot conduct that business unless you have the approval of the Nigerian Copyright Commission. Now, some of this matter is in court, so I'll be careful in what I say. But just to say that we have a position, which is that unless a CMO is approved, it should not operate. And the reason is this.
Are you saying that COSON is not approved?
Well, like I said, I wouldn't want to discuss.
I didn't say anything.
I understand. Yeah. I didn't even read your lips. Now, but let me just speak generally. It was Justice Odunawa that said this, I think about 1994 or so. And he said, look, you cannot describe yourself as collecting on behalf or representing millions of right owners and refuse to subject yourself to some regulation or some supervision under the law. And Justice Odunawa couldn't understand how a collecting society would be performing the duties representing so many people and not want to subject itself to regulation. For me, as a lawyer and as a copyright person, that is very profound as a foundational principle that should govern every collecting society, whether it's in music, whether it's in movies, or whether it's in the literary field.
Well, so much for COSON then. But,
yeah. But we have MCSN, so, I mean, the Music Copyright Society of Nigeria, so something, yeah.
I know that music is very big in Nigeria now. And the musicians are making a lot more money than they used to make in the old days.
Okay.
People like Burna Boy are smiling all the way to the bank.
Okay.
Davido and people like that. So every radio station that plays, or every television station for that matter, that plays anyone's music or video as per TV, are they bound to pay the artists? And how are those monies, how are those charges made?
Okay, well, in the first place, Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, frankly, when you count those, you will say are really making money. They probably will account for less than 1% of all the musicians. There are so many musicians that are out there. The works are doing well, and they're not living well. I don't know how true, but you may have heard the story of Berger and how he died. Berger's sweet mother was one of the...
International.
It was everywhere. And you would have expected that even if he got this much for each play, he would have been a very comfortable man. You know that we often hear of artists, especially, performers, who are sick or maybe have a terminal illness or have some condition, and they just need maybe 5 million, 20 million, and they have to come begging, TV stations, radios, just to announce that they are in dire need. And you'll be wondering, these people that have given us so much, and we've had so much joy from them, and they are in this state, and they have no recourse. And we know that when they grow old, there's no pension for them. So there's so much out there that would call on us to search our conscience and ask whether we're treating them fairly.
Doctor, you're not making this a moral matter.
Oh, no. Copyright is both an economic and a moral, social, political, and indeed a practical matter, because we're talking about the future of this country. We want to have more Burna Boy out there. We want to have more Davido out there. We want to have more Wizkid out there. Yeah. We need to get the young ones today to believe that that is where to go and they will make the money. And why do you think people who are talented often get detached from society is because they see that, look, no one is taking care of us, so let's go take care of ourselves. There's a case I don't want to use here, but I will just speak around it. You see a young lady who is talented, and she can dance very well. She can maybe sing very well. But she thinks that, look, no one will listen to her or even appreciate what she's doing. So she would rather go into a closet and do her skits and dance and everything and post online where she's anonymous. And you find people following that child. You could have asked that child to come into the open and perform and teach the child how to perform and where to perform and ensure that she's well guided, worth her while. Rather than drive that child to the dark alleys where she'll feel comfortable without the lights, and then she could become vulnerable. So there's so much in the creative space that if these creators are properly rewarded, then Nigeria as a country we get more from them in terms of not just the taxes they'll pay, but also this, the ripple effect on others who would want to come on. Now, back to your question, it's not that you have to always pay them millions when you use their music. It's to be negotiated between the collecting society and the user of the music, and it should be based on global templates. Now, if there's some disagreement between the user and the collecting society, you can come to Nigerian Copyright Commission because the law provides for an arbitration procedure. So and Commission will say, look, this is too high, or justify why you're asking for so much. And then we come to a balance. What we don't subscribe to is for users to look the other way and say, oh, why are they asking for so much money?
But Doctor, all this music you can get online.
Beautiful. At your own risk.
Oh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason
I'm waiting to hear.
Very good. It's very easy to think you can get anything online. Of course you can get anything online. But for a responsible organization, you're taking a big risk. A lot of people...
No, I'm not talking about, I mean, personally.
Personally, well, the collective society will not come after you if you were using... As a person? Yeah, if you were using that music as a person. So it's the use that will determine whether or not there's an obligation to pay.
Okay, if I'm making money out of the use of it.
Oh, certainly. If you're making money out of it. For instance, there's a trend we have noticed in the area of visual arts. People now go online and take paintings and then go to some place and print those paintings and want to sell.
Sell them.
And I say it's wrong. So we're talking with SNA, the Society of Nigerian Artists, and I said, look, this is a trend that we have to stop. You can't just go there. It's okay if you go pick Mona Lisa, because Mona Lisa is already in public domain.
Yeah.
You can pick works that are public, but you cannot just pick any work and then start selling, because you're making money at the expense of someone. And when you do that, it may look like fun because you are making the money, but when the person that owns the work gets to know that, he will have recourse. Just yesterday, for instance, we were somewhere and a gentleman was very happy showing me, you know, a bag full of movies. And he said, I will enjoy it. And he showed me one that had like more than 24 movies.
Did he know who you were?
No.
Okay, all right.
And I was happy not to disclose because it helps when you, I mean, I was just myself, so he didn't even think I was anybody to be taken seriously. So, and we priced and did everything.
And you bought?
No. But my guys are going to pick him up today.
Oh, dear.
Well, pick him up, not because I want to lock him up, but I want to see... Disclosure. ...how much he knows and what we can do with
Where he got them from.
Because there's no way you can have a movie or a collection of movies from different studios. It's never done. You can't have old school music coming from different artists. It's never done. That is a giveaway that this is pirated. So there are times you see the pirated works, and that is one of the challenges we face as the Nigerian Copyright Commission. People often ask me, what is your biggest challenge? And they want to hear, oh, funding, or manpower or infrastructure. That's not my biggest challenge. I can find my way around the funding. My job is to overcome the challenges.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. My problem is with the mindset of the public. If I brought antibiotics here now and I said, well, these ones are actually fake, but they're cheap enough, you won't touch them.
No.
But if I brought movies now and I brought some books, I said, well, they're pirated. You say, well, they're readable, they're cheap, and you buy them.
How much are books pirated in Nigeria?
It's
Which one is the main target of pirates?
Well,
is it music? Is it movies? Is it books?
Well, I think the
Art?
pirates,
They don't discriminate.
the community of pirates, no, they do, because each pirate has his own area of interest.
Speciality.
And, yes, and maybe area of influence also. So, for instance, if you grow up around a pirate in the book sector, you will likely be, you grow into a book pirate. If you grow around, maybe around computer village, then you will learn how to download quickly. So you'll likely be a movie pirate and all that. But for us, one thing is clear. Pirates are like the moth, or they run towards light. So once a work is in high demand, pirates move in that direction. So one test of a good book is the attraction it draws from pirates. But the good thing, and we had this discussion with publishers, the Nigerian Copyright Commission, frankly speaking, is doable. We can bring piracy to a single-digit nuisance in this country. And we're going to do it. Because you focus on one area at a time. The pirates in the book sector, you'll find them in Ajegunle, you'll find them in Shomolu, you'll find them in Ariaria. They are different from the pirates in the music sector or the film sector that you probably find around Alaba, and some other place. We know where they are, and we've seen that somehow it's probably the broken system, distribution system that they're exploiting. So we're talking with right owner groups to say, look, you need to work on your distribution models and improve on the systems. The value chain should be respected and should not be broken. For instance, in the book sector, the value chain is mangled, is broken, and you can hardly tell who is a publisher, who is a printer, or who is a bookseller. Publishers take books to the schools, and pirates also take books to the schools. So we have school owners, we have proprietors who end up buying from both sides.
Oh dear.
Some are innocent, but some know what they're doing. So we're talking with publishers on how to arrest this, and frankly, from next year, we'll make it illegal for you to distribute when you are not so accredited.
Now, Doctor, how can the viewer, for instance, that is us, the public, how can we help in this fight against piracy? Because piracy is essentially an infringement of copyright, infringement of patents, infringement of all these things we're talking about.
No, it's infringement of copyright. We've gone through the Intellectual Property 101, and we've defined copyright to be the ones dealing with artistic works, musical works, and all that.
Yes, and
so
movies.
We'll put patent aside.
Okay.
So we'll deal with copyright works.
Okay.
How the public can help. First, you are helping. That we are here talking about it is already some help. And I'm grateful to the media for what they're doing to put some light on this and help the public to understand that the pirate, although he may be selling cheaper, he's not doing it because he loves you. He's doing it for the good of his pocket. And I often say that pirates have only three. Their agenda can be brought into three. They kill, they steal, they destroy. They kill creativity. They steal from the right owners. They destroy the economy. Sooner or later, if we don't address them, then we'll have a famished creative industry. And that will be bad for everyone. Yep. So once we know that, then we have some attitudinal change to say, okay, it may cost a little more, but let me buy the original. Or in some cases, you don't even have to buy so many. So buy the ones you can afford. Why we talk to the producers to bring down the prices. The reason why the prices are high is because they are competing with the pirates. Now, do you know what it means when one person brings in 13, 14, 20 container loads of pirated works? Do you know what it means? And I'm sorry, I don't want to mention names now. I know a publisher that passed in 2021. He was one of the, anti-piracy fighters. He was very much in the forefront. He did not want to see anything, having to do with pirates.
But in the last few years, with all the work that your agency and other agencies have done on piracy, has the incidence reduced?
I believe it has. And one way you can measure that is when a pirate can no longer do it without even hiding. It used to be that they would be they had so much effrontery that you could pass through the port easily. But now if you bring in copyright works, the customs will stop you. They will ask you for...
They have been made aware.
Oh, yes. Customs, they're doing a good job. It doesn't matter what people say about Nigeria Customs Service. They've done wonderfully well. It doesn't matter what people say about the police.
By you.
They've done wonderfully well. Without them, we would have been nowhere. But I think the piracy is now we've been able to... Now, it's like when you have something coming down the hill, you can't stop it suddenly, but you must begin to decelerate. And that's what we see happening. And hopefully by next year, when the bill, I think that's a good thing, because we have a new copyright bill that is, maturing now. It's gone through Senate. It had its first reading at the House of Reps on Wednesday. That tells me that there's a political will to address copyright issues in a very comprehensive
We've run
manner.
out of time, but quickly, what does this bill say, please?
So fast. Well, the bill has increased the sanctions for infringements. It's provided for online infringements. We can do our job better in that area. It has helped. It's helping the blind so they can access books in a better and more an easier way. And of course, it has strengthened the powers of the Nigerian Copyright Commission. And I believe that with this, we'll have a definite turnaround in the copyright story of Nigeria.
Dr. John Asen, Director General, Nigerian Copyright Commission. Well, I must say that things are a bit clearer to me now.
Thank you.
He is built on the discussions of last week on this issue. So I hope that for you at home, these issues are now even clearer. Thank you very much for coming and enlightening us on copyright.
I should be the one thanking you.
Patents.
We'll do it again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So join us shortly for another interesting conversation.